All right, guys, let's have some fun. So the other day, Trump was given a rally speech, and the mic caught a little something, something there for you. It appears as if he, at the very least, farted while giving the speech. Potentially, it may have gone just a little bit further than a fart. So anyway, we're going to watch this breakdown here. Now, by the way, I highly recommend, before you even watch this video, go back and watch the previous video I did on this. We did a deep dive investigation into whether or not Trump is incontinent. He's obviously incompetent, but he may be incontinent as well. I think like hashtag Diaper Don was trending on Twitter a year or two ago, and I went through all the evidence of it. Go watch that video, and you guys let me know what you think. But now we have another example of a little something happening during the speech. Let's watch, and then I have a lot to say about it.
As I've reported on this before, I want to handle this subject with care and with tact, and I want to take it very seriously. It seems that when Donald Trump was giving a speech at the Detroit Economic Club, among other things that occurred when he wasn't attacking Detroit or consistently lying, he seems to have soiled himself during this speech. You can hear it multiple times. It seems that he is letting out gas and potentially fecal matter as well during the speech, and then he tries to kind of cover it up by making a noise. He goes, ugh, as he appears to be relieving himself. So I want to play that clip for you, but I want to show you this is not just the first time this has occurred. But let me show you what went down yesterday when Donald Trump spoke at the Detroit Economic Club. Listen carefully. Let's play it.
This is a catastrophe for the American dream and a dire crisis from commerce to labor to FEMA.
Now, as I mentioned, this has happened frequently with Donald
Crisis is a catastrophe for the American dream and a dire crisis from commerce to labor to FEMA.
Now, as I mentioned, this has happened frequently with Donald Trump, and we've been covering it here at the Midas Touch Network, and I think it is an important subject to cover. I know that corporate media is going to avoid it, and there are some people who...
Oh, I love this shit. Yeah, I know corporate media is not going to cover this, bro. It's an important thing to cover. You won't hear this on corporate media, bro. Literally talking about this dude shitting himself.
Kind of cover it, but like mock it and make fun of it. I want to just report on it and give you the data points right here.
To be fair, if it was Biden, they would cover it nonstop. But Trump, it barely cracks the top 10 for scandals on any given day.
Costs, I think the health of candidates is significant. How they present themselves is when he is meeting with world leaders and senators. Is he relieving himself in front of them? Is he defecating on the floor in front of them? What is taking place here? I'll just show you for...
Is he defecating on the floor in front of them?
Example, when he was holding a meeting, when he was disgracing the office and also apparently defecating on himself, it appears at least, let me be clear, this appears to be what's taking place. And there's some corroborating sources, like significant corroborating sources. Well, the late Dianne Feinstein was sitting next to him once, and he appears to not only let out gas, but he also seems to have also relieved himself as well. And you can see it in her face, how disgusted and kind of grossed out she is about what took place. Let's play it here.
So today we're here in a bipartisan fashion to show leadership in an effort to end this senseless violence. It can be ended.
Donald Trump's been doing this as well in front of world leaders. When the president of Turkey, Erdogan, visited the White House, it also appears that Donald Trump relieved himself, let out fecal matter as well, let out gas too, in front of Erdogan. You can see the same kind of movement that you saw with the late Senator Feinstein. It's the same response, just like grossed out, repulsed, and then they have to stand there in that just, it's described as the filthiest, most disgusting stench you'll ever be around, is how many people describe it. But watch this interaction here. Let's play the clip. And then, of course, we were the ones who broke here at the Midas Touch Network the story that Trump was doing this during the criminal trial, where he was found guilty on 34 separate felony counts. He would fall asleep, and then he would fart, he'd pass gas.
Okay, so look, at the very end, he points out that Obama, like, hinted at this in his speech because he was like, you think Trump ever changed a diaper? And somebody in the audience screams, his own! And Obama goes, I was going to say that, but I decided I shouldn't. So he sort of hinted at it a little bit, too. But here, let me get to, I'll just show you the end part real quick, because you get some of the previous evidence that we covered in a previous video. You got a lot of people who worked with him, like a couple people who worked at The Apprentice, sort of said the same thing. They said he's addicted to speed, so like he snorts Adderall or whatever sort of upper it is, and then and that makes it hard for you to control your bowels, right? And he's also he's up there in age too. So look, there's not a debate whether or not dude is at the very least ripping ass in public on the regular, right? Clearly he's doing that, and that is some old man shit right there. Right, that's the oldest man shit you could possibly do. It's equally old manish to just rip ass in public. And the other thing is, like, when I would play golf with my dad growing up, and you were in the locker room at the golf course, there'd be old men like just walking out of the shower butt ass naked. And you want to talk about it? It's like, oh Jesus Christ! Like, what the fuck? You run out of there at 100 miles an hour. That's some old man shit. Walking around a locker room butt-ass naked for no goddamn reason. Dangly-ass balls hanging down. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Get it together. This is crazy. So ripping ass in public is definitely happening. But the other question, is like, is he also sort of shitting himself? So here, one more thing.
Individual on TikTok who shares a story about this going back actually decades, where Trump's odor so putrid that he was allegedly kicked out of a restaurant because people couldn't tolerate the scent. Here, play this clip.
So when you post something and then someone bigger than you, like Adam Kinzinger, confirm it.
This dude looks like Johnny Knoxville, doesn't he? I feel like he looks like Johnny Knoxville from Jackass.
And years ago, I posted about Trump being kicked out of Keen Steakhouse in Manhattan, where I was eating with my father in 1983, because his smell was so offensive. This wasn't an elderly thing. It was 1983. I wouldn't make fun of Trump today if it was an elderly thing. That's not what we do on the left.
Not sure I'm with you on that one, fella.
It happens to elderly people. Trump wasn't elderly. We didn't complain. The table next to him complained, and the table behind him complained. We smelled it, but my father and I didn't complain about it. Trump was not elderly. The smell was so fucking offensive that they finally had to ask him to leave. And he did leave, quietly, right by us, and it wafted us.
I mean, look, I'm just the humble middleman, right? I'm just showing you what people are talking about. I'm showing you the videos that just dropped. Something's going on. Something's going on. Whether or not he's shitting himself is an open question, but ripping ass in public, that one's not debatable. He's been doing it way too long, way too many instances, and that is the oldest man shit I've ever seen. Again, if this was Biden doing it, you know damn well everybody would talk about it. I would talk about it. I would talk about it. I would absolutely talk about it. But with him, I don't know. You're not going to see this in many places, but I just wanted to share it with you and have some fun. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.